Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? I'm Miss عاطف, and I am your math teacher from نتفوق Academy. So today we are going to start a new session in math for Prep 1. So are you ready? Let's start. Our session today will be an introduction for algebra, and it will be so easy. So start with me. What we are going to learn today. Today we are going to remember how can we classify any number. So add these numbers. Can you see them? We have number 5, 0, -2, and we have many other numbers. We can classify them into counting numbers, natural, integers, and we have a new set of numbers that we are going to take this year, inshallah, which is called rational. So, can you remember what are these sets or groups of numbers? What the meaning of counting? And what is the meaning of natural? And what about these integers? That's what we are going to learn in this session. So, let's start together. Numbers, it comes from the word count. If I give you this picture and ask you to count, how many monkeys can you see here? Yes, of course, they are 5. You're going to start to count and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you start counting from number 1, and each time you jump by 1. So this is the definition of counting numbers. Counting number is a group of numbers or a set. A set means a group. So we can say a set of numbers or a group of numbers, which begins from 1 and increases by 1 each time. So we can draw it as a set which has all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I have more than 5, I'm going to put them. So this is the counting, and we give it letter C, as C means counting numbers. So this is group or set number 1. Number 2, we have something called natural numbers. What is the natural? What does it mean? It means that I have all the counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But if I add to them 0, so I have a new group or a new set of numbers called natural numbers. So natural numbers is a set which includes all the counting number, but with the counting I put 0 and I give it letter N. So now you have 2 groups or 2 sets. Which is bigger? Of course, the natural number is bigger than the counting because it includes all the counting and also it includes 0. What about the third set? Set number 3 is called integers. Integers is bigger than the counting and bigger than the natural because it includes all the natural numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, but also it includes the negative numbers. Can you remember the negative? Of course. Negative numbers are the numbers that are less than 0. So -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. So we call them negative numbers. So now we have the 0, we have the positive numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we have also the negative numbers. If I put all of them together, it means that I have a set of numbers called integers, and I give it letter Z. So the Z means that I have 3 parts. Z, or the integers, means I have all the positive numbers, and I will call it the positive. All the positive numbers starting from 1 and so on. It also includes the Z negative, and it means all the negative numbers, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. And also it includes 0. And you must remember 0 is neither positive nor negative. It means that 0 is not a negative number, and also it's not a positive. It's in between them. So the integers, or the set, which we call letter Z, it includes Z positive, all the positive numbers. It includes Z negative, all the negative numbers, and it includes 0. So this is the third set that we have. So again, how can you see this picture? Yes, you have the counting. After that, we add 0, so we have the natural. And if we put with the 0 and the positive numbers, the negative, I'm going to have the third set, which we call Z. What is new this year is the rational numbers. The rational means what? Rational is bigger than the last 3 sets that we said. It's bigger than the counting, bigger than the natural, bigger than the integers, because it includes all the positive numbers, all the negative numbers, the 0, but it includes another new elements. Like what? Like the fractions, the decimal, and the percentage. Let's see, what does it mean? If I ask you, what is the number that between -2 and 3, for example? You are going to say, I have in between them -1, 0, 1, and 2. So all of these are between -2 and 3. And all of these numbers are whole numbers. Whole means that I can count with them 0, 1, 2. It means that I jump 1. I jump by 1 each time. From -1 to 0, here is jumping by 1. From 0 to 1, jumping by 1, and so on. But if I ask you, what comes between 1 and 2? If there is any number between them, I heard someone say no. So no, there is no numbers in between? Actually, they are a lot of numbers in between any 2 whole numbers. So between 1 and 2, we have an infinite numbers. Infinite means that a lot of many, or a lot of and many numbers between them. Like what? Like if I wrote for you 1.5. What the meaning of 1.5? It means that's 1.5. So it lies between 1 and 2. So yes, it's here. What if I'm saying, for example, 1 1/4? Where it lies? Yes, it lies between 1 and 2. So it's in between them. What if I'm saying 1 3/4? What if I'm saying 1.782? All these are numbers and they are between 1 and 2. But they are in the form of fraction or in the form of decimal. So these numbers we are going to put in our set, which is called rational numbers, and we call it letter Q. So letter Q is called, or is the name of rational numbers, okay? This is the abbreviation of rational, Q. So the rational numbers includes all the fractions, all the decimals, and all the percentages. Can you remember what is the percent? If I ask you, what's your mark last year? Okay, you finished grade 6 with mark. For example, you are going to say, I got 96%. So this is the percentages, and we can call it a rational number. And can you remember how can we write it? Yes, we are going to put this and put our sign. So all the percentages are rational. So again, rational means what? Rational means all the counting numbers, all the natural numbers, all the integers, but with all the integers, all these numbers, we are going to take also the fractions, the decimals, the percentages. Okay, so this is called what? This is called rational number. So rational is bigger than integers, and integers is bigger than natural, and natural is bigger than the counting, because the counting is the smallest set of numbers. Now we have two important remarks in any rational number. We said that any fraction is irrational, but any fraction that has a denominator not equal 0. What does it mean? If I wrote to you 4/0, is this a fraction or is this a rational number? No. So I can take any fraction, but in math we can't say that our denominator is 0. It's wrong. So you can put here in the denominator, in the lower part, any number. You can put any positive or any negative number, but you can't put 0. So this is our remark. You have a condition. You must put in the denominator any number except 0. So the B or the denominator can't be 0. What about the numerator? Can I put the numerator or letter A here as a 0? Yes, we can. We can choose any number. In the numerator, we can put the 0 or any other number. Okay? So this is our lesson today. Now, what we are going to do is to play a small game together. Here, I want from each student to choose a number, and this number will give you a question, and you are going to solve this question. So let's start. For example, yes, let's start with number 1. Your question says 4/7 is a natural number or rational or negative. Is this a negative number? Of course not. It doesn't have any negative sign. So we are not going to choose negative. Is it a natural? We said natural means 0, 1, 2, 3, and each time we jump by 1. But this is the form of a fraction. So it's what? It's a rational number. So this is a rational. Again, let's choose another one. Let's choose, for example, number 5. Here, what can you see? 2.54 is a rational number, true or false? Can you see here the decimal point? So this is a decimal. We said decimal is a rational or not? So, of course, yes. So I'm going to say true, correct. So, excellent. Let's choose another one. For example, number 2. -5 is not what? Not a rational, not an integer, not a natural number. -5 is not what? Is it a rational? Yes or no? Okay, we said that any integer is a rational, but with the integers we put decimals, fractions, and percent. So this is an integer. So can I choose that this is not a rational? Can I say that? Of course, no, because this is a rational. And also this is an integer because we said that the integer is all the positive and all the negative numbers and the 0. This is negative, so it's an integer. Is it a natural? Can you remember? We said natural starts from 0. So this is a negative number, -5. So it's not a natural number. Okay. Another question, let's start with number 6. Here, complete the following table. We are going to say each number of them is from which group or sets. What is the classification? Now we have counting, we have natural, we have integer, and we have rational. So we have 4 sets or 4 groups of numbers. Can you see? So you are going to choose each one of them. Like 25, is it counting? Yes or no? 25 is a counting number, of course. So we are going to put letter C here. Is it natural number or not? Of course, it's a natural, so I'm going to choose also letter N. So 25 is a natural. Is it an integer? Yes, we said the integer includes all the positive, all the negative, and also the 0. So it's also Z. I will choose Z also. Is it a rational? In order to make sure this is a rational number or not, I'm going to put it in the form of a fraction. How can I put 25 as a fraction? I will say 25. 25 means 25 over 1. So you have a denominator which is not 0. So yes, this is a rational number. So I'm going to say also this is a rational. So the classification of 25, it includes, yes, it's in the counting, in the natural, in the integers, and also in the rational numbers. What about -9? Think, huh? -9 is a counting? Yes or no? Of course not, because we said that the counting starts from number 1. So I can choose the counting. What about the natural? Also no, because this is a negative and the natural starts from 0. Is it negative? Yes, negative. It means that we are in the integer. Okay, is it a rational? To make sure, change it into a fraction and ask yourself what the meaning of -9. It means that I have -9 over 1. So your denominator is 1. So it's not 0. So yes, this is a rational number. What about the last one here? And you see 3.45. It's so easy. It's so clear. You have a decimal point. It's a decimal. And the decimal is only in the rational numbers. So the classification of it is the rational. Is it clear? Okay. So this is our lesson today. In the next session, inshallah, we are going to complete solving question in this game together. So thank you so much for watching and see you next session. Bye-bye.